Facing headwinds around the world, Meta has decided to not release some of its more advanced models in Europe and Brazil. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. There's a saying that you'll sometimes hear in the Bitcoin space that countries don't ban Bitcoin, they ban their citizens from Bitcoin. One could argue that there is something similar happening in Europe now when it comes to AI. Yesterday, Axios reported that Meta would not offer future multimodal AI models in the European Union. This is due to what they call a lack of clarity from European regulators. Meta said in a statement, "We will release a multimodal llama model over the coming months, but not in the EU due to the unpredictable nature of the European regulatory environment." Now, what they're referring to is the largest Llama 3 model 400B that is purportedly coming next week. Many people are betting that this will be the most performant open source model yet, and so it's a significant loss to the European environment that this won't be available there. Meta is also not the only company who's making this type of decision. Back in June, Apple announced that it wouldn't roll out its AI features in Europe, also due to regulatory concerns. Apple said in a statement, "Due to the regulatory uncertainties brought about by the Digital Markets Act, we do not believe that we will be able to roll out 3 of these features, iPhone mirroring, SharePlay screen sharing enhancements, and Apple Intelligence, to our EU users this year." Specifically, Apple cited the requirement for interoperability. In the statement, they said, "We are concerned that the interoperability requirements of the DMA could force us to compromise the integrity of our products in ways that risk user privacy and data security." Now, the narrative around this isn't exactly positive in Europe. The Financial Times wrote a piece called "Europe's Rushed Attempt to Set the Rules for AI." In it, one of their sources said, "Extra cost of compliance on EU companies is bringing us further down. We will be hiring lawyers while the rest of the world is hiring coders." So what are some of the implications of Meta's particular plans? Well, it means that European companies will not be able to use the largest Llama 3 models, even though they're being released under an open license. It might also mean that companies that are outside the EU but offering products inside the EU also won't be able to use Meta models and stay in compliance. Meta does say that they're planning on releasing a larger text-only version of Llama 3 that will be compliant in the EU. Over in Britain, we are seeing a change of government, and with it, potentially a change in AI strategy. Under Rishi Sunak, the UK had tried to position itself as a global leader in AI, and particularly AI safety. And while we don't have any information yet about their specific plans, the new Labour government has said that it will, quote, "explore how to effectively regulate AI models." For now, it's clear that AI remains on the UK's regulatory agenda, although it's not exactly clear what the differences between the Sunak government and the new Labour government will ultimately be. Down in Brazil, more news from Meta, as the company decides to suspend its generative AI tools in total. Reuters writes that the context is that Brazil's National Data Protection Authority decided to suspend the validity of Meta's new privacy policy for the use of personal data to train generative AI systems. The ANPD ruled that the company would need to adapt its privacy policy to exclude the section related to processing of personal data for generative AI training. So in the meantime, Brazil's market of 200 million customers will not be able to access Meta's AI tools. Over in Japan, an interesting and somewhat unexpected study from Reuters and Nikkei Research. While about a quarter of companies responding said they'd already introduced AI in their businesses, and another third are planning to do so, 41% of respondents said they have no plans to incorporate AI. When it comes to reasons why, one of the respondents cited, quote, "anxiety among employees over possible headcount reduction." Other obstacles include, quote, "a lack of technological expertise, substantial capital expenditure, and concern about reliability." In other words, it sounds as though this is not 40% of Japanese companies saying they don't see value in AI, but saying that there are big barriers for them to get into it. Wrapping up our headlines, a slew of new AI product releases. Last year, Spotify released its AI DJ in English, and now AI DJ is coming to the Spanish-speaking world as well. This comes hot on the heels of YouTube announcing a similar type of AI playlist feature. Tinder has released what they call a photo selector AI, which does basically exactly what it sounds like, uses AI to choose profile pictures. Microsoft's AI-powered Designer app is now broadly available to anyone with a personal Microsoft account, as well as being integrated into other Microsoft tools. And Salesforce has launched a new Einstein Service Agent, which is an AI agent for customer self-service. This builds on the same foundation of a previously released product called Einstein Copilot, which is an employee-facing AI agent tool. Hold aside the details, the story here is that companies continue to pump out AI updates and entirely new AI features. There is certainly no sign of that slowing down right now. However, for now, that is going to do it for the AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.